The monster mash of the events is finally arrived, the rematch, or I should say, and I want to know which side are you guys on? Team Godzilla, or are you Team Kong? Me personally, I'm Team Godzilla all the way. What's going on, guys? This is Joshua, aka Future Filmmaker 3940 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, and music, and I am here to give you guys an early movie review for my thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong, which is set to come out in theaters this Easter weekend, as well as hits HBO Max this Easter weekend. And this is the 4th installment in Legendary's MonsterVerse, the 36th film in the Godzilla franchise, the 12th movie in the King Kong franchise if you count My Joe Young or not. I count this as the 9th movie. And this is the 4th Godzilla film to be completely produced by an American Hollywood studio. So before I get into my thoughts on all the nitty gritty on what you guys want to hear me talk about, in the comment section down below, what did you think of Godzilla vs. Kong? Did you like it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? Please be respectful to us US and Canadians who has yet to get the chance to see this movie. If you are somebody in the international side of things, please tell me your comments down below, but don't ruin it for anybody else. And also, all my social media links are in the description box down below if you want to go to those. If you like some links to my chime, or you want some fan mail, you can email me or DM me privately. Or if you want to send something from my Amazon wish list, you can do that as well. Also, you can be sure to check out my merchandise store. And with that being said, let's get into my thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong. Of course, this is a sequel to King of the Monsters and Kong Skull Island, and is directed by Alan Wingard, stars Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Julian Dennison, Kyle Chandler, Shona Gore, Isaac Gonzalez, and Demian Bashir. And in this movie, of course, fearsome monsters Godzilla and King Kong square off in an epic battle, while humanity looks to wipe off both of the creatures and take back the planet once and for all. But what they don't know is that there are secrets going on about the rivalry between these two that has been going on for centuries. That is all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to be as vague about this as possible. So, with that being said, let's get into the review of the film. Going into Godzilla vs. Kong, of course I was excited when this was supposed to come out in 2020. I have been enthusiastic about this idea, and I was very much looking forward to seeing it. And I was very interested from the get-go of seeing Godzilla and King Kong fight, because they fought once before in 1962. And ever since then, we've had a lot of other versus movies that I've either liked or didn't like. I won't go down the list, but if you know the list, you're pretty sure which ones I know and which ones I don't like. But as far as the Godzilla movies goes, I like a lot of them, I hate some of them, and some of them I find to be okay. And the King Kong movies is basically the same way. I've almost reviewed every Kong movie. The Godzilla movies, I was gonna review them last year, but things got in the way, it got complicated, but I'll get back to it at some point. And also, as far as the MonsterVerse goes, I just enjoy seeing these fun little kaiju monsters come together. Godzilla 2014 was a breath of fresh air for the Godzilla character and a great start to the MonsterVerse. Kong Skull Island was a very solid introduction to Kong, this interpretation of Kong, and I really like Godzilla King of the Monsters, even though it does have its share of problems. The problems that the MonsterVerse does have is the characters, but again, when it comes to the MonsterVerse, you don't come for the human characters. You basically come to get what you want with this movie, with those movies, and with this movie is no exception. So, kicking things off in the positive section is that this movie delivers on exactly what you want. You come to this movie to see Godzilla and Kong duking it out at each other. The first 45 minutes of this movie sets up that pretty good. And the way this movie sets it up is very well structured. I think Adam Wingard does a great job in setting up the little details and pieces, getting us ready for the incoming fight that is heading your way. And that's what I very much appreciated and applauded this movie was going for. And that's what I very much really liked in this movie was, of course, that aspect in this film. I think the way the first 45 minutes sets up this, how these two are going to fight, is very well done. It gets you straight in, it gets you straight out, but it really gets you hyped up for what is going to come. What I very much appreciate it with the first 45 minutes and with getting what you want. Alan Wingard, he's basically taken the criticisms of the last three Godzilla movies, or MonsterVerse movies I should say, and say, we are going to make this a straightforward, simplistic plot with two of these characters fighting in under 2 hours. And for a lot of you people who really are not a fan of the human characters, you don't have to worry about that because they're not the main center stage of this movie. They take more of a backseat in this movie. But Godzilla and Kong, they do get a lot more to do in it. They get a lot more what they get a lot of the screen time here. They're not shoved in the background here. They're not pushed to the side as you were expected, and that's what I very much liked with Godzilla and Kong in this movie. They are really the heart and soul of this movie, but it's also really Kong too. He has this relationship with this little girl who he is not a love relationship. It's more of a friendly bond. As you can see that she's the only one who could communicate with him, understands what he's saying, and she, as well as this other character played by Rebecca Hall, and as well as the Team Kong side of the scenario, they all try to work together to, of course, find Kong a new home, as well as help him prevail throughout his mission. He does have a character arc him. You do sympathize with him. You do like him. They don't make him a complete Gary Sue where he's a monster that can't be taken down. No, they don't do that here, and that's what I very much appreciate with him. Obviously, Godzilla does have his little story too. Something is making him upset and you don't know what it is, and we do find out what it is over the course of the movie. So that's why I do very much appreciate what this movie was going for, and I very much was happy with that. It knew what it was going for. It wasn't trying to be the most Oscar bait, thought-provoking story in the world. It was just trying to be a very simplistic story about two monsters battling it out for the sake of the humanity. Godzilla himself, he is awesome in this movie. The way that the fight scenes between him and Kong are awesome. It's very well shot. You can tell that it's not in the style of a Transformers movie, which I can see where a lot of people were very displeased with the action scenes in Godzilla King of the Monsters. That is brought way down thanks to Alan Wingard's, the way he sets up the camera and the way he sets up the cinematography in this movie. The visual effects on both of these monsters are really great too. Got motion capture and CGI related. These monsters look great in the fight scenes. The action scenes is a visual spectacle with the action scenes. That has to be expected here when it comes to these characters, and I very much appreciated the movie for going that route. So I was very happy with the way they did that, and I was very calm about that at most, and I was very much enthusiastic about that. We do have to talk about the acting, of course. I will say the cast here isn't, you don't come into this movie for the human characters. You come into this movie getting what you want to get. And on Team Kong side, you have Alexander Skarsgård as Nathan Lynn, Rebecca Hall as Aline Andrews, Kaylee Hollow as Gia, the little girl. Isaac Gonzalez as Maya Simmons, Demian Bashir as Walter Simmons, and you have, of course, those team members on that side. And I think those actors do a really good job in their roles for what is required of them. Especially, of course, Alexander Skarsgård, Isaac Gonzalez, and Kelly Hollow, who doesn't even say a word throughout the movie. Of course, in real life, she does have speak sign language. So, honestly, the Team Kong does a really good job in their performances. The Team Godzilla side, of course, you have Kyle Chandler as Dr. Mark Russell and Millie Bobby Brown in this movie. We know they're good. They do great jobs as well. But you also have Brian Tyree Henry as a new character as Bernie Haynes, who is a former Apex technician, and AIDS Madison, and the new character Josh, played by Gillian Dennison, on their journey. And they trying to figure out why Godzilla is attacking people and why his behavior is off. So I thought both sides of the acting did a really good job here. Of course, the production design and the locations and the cinematography by Ben Sorensen is really great. I just praise the visual effects as well, and the effects are really good. You can tell that Legendary and Warner Bros. Puts a lot of money into the effects. Not to mention, the pacing is very brisk. This movie is only an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and 53 minutes if you count credits, and it gets you straight in and gets you straight out. And that's why I very much appreciate it when it comes to this in this movie. And I very much liked what this movie was going for and what this movie was doing. So I definitely have to give a lot of credit for that side of things as well. Of course, the musical side of things, you have Tom Holkenborg doing the music for this. Once again, turning another great score. When we just came off a week after the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and his score in here is awesome. You have some great usage of the score. It's very well done. It's a very enthusiastic soundtrack that embraces both sides of the story, Godzilla and Kong. So I definitely have to give credit to the musical score for that. One of the negatives that did bother me is, of course, the human characters are not the greatest development. In terms of acting, I think they do a great job. Everyone in the human scenario does a great job, but when you get into knowing them as characters, I felt like that was a little bit of the writing scenario. But again, this is a movie that's focused more on Godzilla and King Kong, and if you all go into this movie over and analyzing that, you are not gonna really like what this movie has to offer. So in that case, I did enjoy what this movie was doing and what this movie was going for. And I do have to give this movie a lot of credit for that scenario. That is why I felt like the movie really does shine at, is knowing what it is, not caring about what this movie is going for. And that's why I very much enjoyed in this movie. It wasn't trying to be anything stupid. It wasn't trying to be anything that it wasn't going to be. So I do have to give credit in that. But when you get into the human characters again, I do wish we did get to spend some time to get to know each of these human characters' backgrounds on Team Kong side. Of course, we did get to know Mark Russell and Madison Russell, but not the... So the characterization is very thin here. There's this whole subplot with Apex, which I was not a fan of, and I'm not gonna give that away because that has been given away by people who are dumbasses who refuse to let everyone else see this movie for themselves opening weekend or at home, and of course do leaks, toys, and such. This, I'm not giving that away because that I get the concept and I like the execution behind it, but I basically didn't really think it was all that necessary here. But it does lead to a awesome last 35 to 45 to 40 minutes left. Will a certain monster show up? I'm not gonna say who it is, but if you are a die-hard Godzilla fan, you should know who it is. Yes, I know there were 2 other actors that was supposed to be in this movie. Jessica Henwick and Z Zane were reprising her role from Godzilla King of the Monsters. So of course they'll probably be into the lead scenes category when it comes to this movie comes out on Blu-ray and DVD in the planned July release. At the end of the day, Godzilla vs. Kong, if you are a monster lover, I think you will very much love this movie. If you are someone who has enjoyed the MonsterVerse movies, you will like this movie. Even if you are a kaiju fanatic or a Kong fanatic, you will enjoy this movie. But if you are not either one of those things, you will not get any enjoyment out of this movie. If you overanalyze and over-critically think about this movie, as far as the story and characters goes, you won't like this movie. You basically have to go in knowing what you're getting yourself into. And when you do that, I think you'll be pleasantly impressed. So with that being said, Godzilla vs. Kong, this is a fun blast of a movie. Great visuals, great action. The Kong and Godzilla are the true big standouts of this movie. The human characters are great despite the human characters being weak. But other than that, this is a very entertaining film that I think you all should go see on opening weekend. In theaters, if you can. Just be safe if you're going to a theater. If you want to watch this on HBO Max because you're scared to go do it, that's completely fine. Either way, support this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. Of course, I do plan to get the MonsterVerse movies all at once on Blu-ray when this comes out. And I am giving Godzilla vs. Kong an Epictastic. So that was my thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong. What did you guys think of this movie in the comment section down below? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? As always, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when the next videos come out. Otherwise, you're not going to get every single notification for those. Please be sure to like this video, comment down below in this video, and share this video. And I'll see you guys for the next video. You guys keep it cool, enjoying the Epictastic.